everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be making these fabric lanyards with the Cricut Maker. Now if you don't have a Cricut Maker, stay tuned. I'm going to give you all of the measurements as we go along, and you can absolutely make this without the Maker. But if you have the Maker, it's going to be really simple for you. Your cuts are going to be absolutely spot on with what they need to be. I thought these lanyards were a lot of fun. I know I've been to a lot of events recently, Creativation, last year's Make-a-thon, the Chicago Make-a-thon. We wore lanyards for all of them, and I know a lot of people use them for work, so I thought this would be a really fun project that we can make with the Cricut Maker. You only need a little bit of materials for this. You're going to need some fabric, you're going to need a piece of leather, that's optional, or faux leather, and you're going to need some lightweight interfacing. I'll have all of the items required and the measurements linked in the description below the video. I will also have the link to my Cricut Design Space file linked for you in the description on my blog, so you can grab that if you want. I have shared the file. So the pattern's all set up for you, ready to go. So let's get started. Okay, so you have your two pieces of fabric, your piece of leather or faux leather or suede, whatever you're going to use, and your two pieces of interfacing. The first thing we're going to do is sew two pieces of our lanyard together. And in order to do that, you're going to put right sides together. Now keep in mind when this goes around your neck, if I were to sew this together like this, when you open it up, it's going to go around the neck. The arrows are going to be going up and then down. So if you have a directional fabric, you want to keep that in mind. Depending if you want all the arrows to go up, then I would sew them together this direction so that when it is a lanyard, all the arrows are going in the same direction. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to put these right sides together right on top of each other. Using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, we're going to sew right along that edge. So you can see I've sewn mine right down that edge. I'm going to open up that seam and press it open. All right, now we have two pieces of interfacing. We're going to put it shiny side down on one edge of our fabric, just like so, and iron that into place. And we'll move it up and put the other piece. And there's a little bit of extra there just in case you're hand cutting and it's a little bit off. You've got a little bit of leeway there. We can just trim that off. Just iron that into place. And if you have any extra, just trim that off. Okay, now you want to take this long strip and fold it in half. And you can just sort of finger press it, or you can press it with the iron if you want. I'm just going to finger press. All right, once you have that finger pressed and you have a center line established there, you're going to fold the ends in, and this should be exactly the width of that interfacing on one side, and fold the other side in and press. You're going to do that for the full length of your fabric. So just fold the sides into the center and press. All right, so it should look something like this once you have it pressed. Both of my sides are folded in to the center and pressed. Now we're going to fold that in half and press. So start at one end, fold it in half, and press it all the way down. Okay, once you have it pressed, so it's now folded into the center and then folded in half and pressed, you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and you're going to sew along this open end all the way down to close those raw edges in. Okay, once you have stitched this close, and you can see I stitched close to the edge as I could get. You want to make a matching seam on the opposite side. So now I'm going to take it over the sewing machine and I'm going to sew this side right down the edge, trying to keep about the same seam allowance as I did on the opposite side. Okay, so you can see I have sewn a seam along both edges. Now I recommend that you use your rotary cutter as I have here and just make some clean edges right there on the end. Okay, so you want to orient your neckband so that it is lying in the same direction. It's not curved, so it's sort of like this. We're going to take our lobster clasp and loop it through. Now some of the lobster clasps have the straight edge, some of them have the round. You can use either one. I've used both. I'm going to use this one for the demonstration. So we're going to put that up here. We're going to turn this flat and we're going to fold just about 1/4 of an inch up. Then we're going to pull the lobster clasp down and fold up again about 1/2 an inch. So let me do that again. So we're going to fold the raw edge up, put the lobster clasp down, and then fold up again about 1/2 an inch. So you have the raw edge inside right there. Now, making sure that this is still straight, we're going to take this side and put it right inside of there. So it looks like that. So again, making sure this is going straight. It's like this. I'm going to lay it flat and I'm going to tuck it right inside my 1/2 inch fold so that it looks like this. Now, while you've got it in your hand and you've got everything assembled, put it around your neck and make sure it's going to lay the way you want it. You don't have it twisted in any way. If you do, go ahead and make arrangements, but I've just put mine around my neck. It's going to lay flat just like this. It's exactly what I want. So now you're going to take it over to the sewing machine and you're just going to sew right across this seam so that you will secure all of those layers into place. Okay, and this is basically a completed lanyard. I've done many of them and I stopped right here and I was finished. But if you want to add this little decorative piece, which I think makes it kind of fun, got a little string here, let me clip that off. This is how I did that. I took this leather piece and I just stuck it through the hole of the lobster clasp and right into my seam. Now, I didn't put the holes in the lanyard ahead of time because there's just too many variables to make sure that everything's going to line up. So you're going to have to punch your holes. And all I did was line up the hole like this and use a pen or fabric marker, whatever you want. Figure out where those holes are. Line that back up. Make sure it's lined up on both the front and the back. Mark the hole. And then I'm using my crocodile. You can use your pick. You could use a hole maker, Cricut tool, the pick, and make a hole, or I'm just going to use my crocodile and I'm going to poke a hole right where I made that dot. Just like that. All right, so I have a hole there. I have 2 holes in here that we made with the Cricut. And now I'm going to use an eyelet setter. And I'll have all this product linked in the description below the video. But I think we'll use, we want to use gold, we want to use silver since I've got silver here. When you get your eyelets, they come into 2 pieces. There's a short piece and then the male piece. They look just like this. All right, so you're going to take your leather piece again, stick it through, line up those holes, put your first piece of your eyelet in, stick it through the hole in the fabric. And again, this step is optional, definitely not necessary. I just thought it added a nice finishing touch to the lanyard, but the lanyards are super cute without it. I have made a ton of them without it, like so. And then you're going to put the top of the brad on, and then it comes with this little circle. You're going to put the brad right down on that circle. You're going to take this piece that has a flat end and a sort of a rounded out end. The rounded out end goes right on top. And you're just going to hit it with a hammer. And that's it. You just completed your lanyard. And I think that leather adds a fun finishing touch to it. I really like it. The suede ones that I made. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this is a really fun project, a very practical project. We're seeing more and more lanyards as we have more and more identification checks in different facilities and at our workplaces and at different events. These are going to come in really handy. I would love to see your version if you make it. Please tag me on social media or the Facebook pages. I would absolutely love it. Don't forget to stop by the blog. I'll have it linked in the description below the video, and you can pick up the Cricut Design Space pattern. And don't forget, you can also make this if you don't have a Cricut. You can just cut these pieces by hand. I'll have all of the measurements over on the blog as well. So if you liked it, please like, subscribe, and share. I would love it if you would share the video. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.